Is there merit in Mohsin Naqvi demanding the immediate removal of the match referee Andy Poycroft? Is Pakistan trying to divert attention from its defeat? Some reports talk about Pakistan threatening to walk out of all the remaining matches. Should India and Pakistan actually be playing cricket, even if it's not at bilateral but at multilateral level, when Pakistan uses terror as an instrument of state policy? And does that help India, as some argue, with the Commonwealth Games or Olympic Games, not just hosting it, but will we walk out of the Commonwealth Games? Will we walk out of Asian Games and Olympic Games? Or is that just a very convenient fig leaf? Joining me on this India First special broadcast, Kirti Azad and Madan Lal, two former India players, World Cup winning team members, former India cricketers. Sir, welcome. Lieutenant General Raj Shukla is former army commander, joins us for the strategic perspective. Sushant Sareen is a senior fellow at the Observer Research Foundation, very clearly of the opinion India should not be playing Pakistan either bilateral or multilateral, if I get you correctly, Sushant. Nikhil Naz is consultant editor, Sports India Today TV. Neeru Bhatia is a senior sports journalist and columnist with us on this show. But Kirti Azad, as a sportsman and somebody who was a part of the World Cup winning team, what should one make of Pakistan's current tantrums? Mohsin Naqvi says either you remove Andy Pycroft, that's what the Pakistani side is saying, or they will not play the remaining matches. And the fact he says it was Andy Pycroft who said the captain should not shake hands.
I don't care a damn about Pakistan as far as I'm concerned. I'm concerned that the war is still on. I'm supposed to believe my Prime Minister. He said Operation Sindoor is on. And we are playing whether bilateral or multilateral. ICC, ACC, International Cricket Council, Asia Cricket Council, or terrorists are not greater than the nation. Once you come out and say we are really fighting hard and we've shown Pakistan their place, there's not a single country that is supporting you. Pakistan has become the anti-terror country's vice chairman. And here we are, playing against Pakistan. Is any individual, any organization, or any game above the nation? We have had Pulwamas, we've had Uris, we have had Pahalgam, we have had Pathankot. We're playing against them.
That's a very fair point you make. Let me get General
Shukla. What is this?
That's a very big point.
Is it a joke? 26 लोगों की अभी भी चिताएं ठंडी नहीं हुई और आप मैच खेलने के लिए चले गए. ये क्या मजाक है? And permission is given by the government. Please, for God's sake, know that. If you cannot call artists, if you cannot have trade, you can't have terror and talks can't go together. पानी और खून साथ बह नहीं सकता. Then how can you play cricket is the question when the Honorable Prime Minister of this country says that the war is on. So Operation Sindoor has turned into Chashme Baddoor with Pakistan. Rubbish.
Nikhil, you want to come in? You think it's an insult to play Pakistan in a multilateral series? Nikhil, you want to quickly respond before I bring in General Raj Shukla into this conversation?
Well, you know, I look at it very differently, Gaurav. First thing, I think we need to make a distinction between bilateral engagements and multilateral engagements. And I'll state this as well, that I'm not saying this and I'm not of the opinion that India and Pakistan play cricket now. I've said it even before the government actually decided. So I'm very politically neutral when I comment on this. My point is that when you play Pakistan bilaterally, that's like extending a hand of friendship. So when you talk about trade, it's a bilateral exercise. When you talk about artists, it's a bilateral exercise. And what India has said, we're not engaging with them bilaterally. Now, multilateral tournaments are a different thing. My point is, why should you isolate yourself by not participating in these tournaments? You should look to isolate Pakistan from that stage, which is not happening at the moment. Why would you want to give Pakistan everything on the platter so they can continue participating in these tournaments while you yourself are isolated? If you look at all the past examples, like apartheid, for example, the rest of the world got together and excluded South Africa, the guilty party. In this case, if you consider Pakistan as the guilty party, they should be the one eliminated for multilateral tournaments, not India. And it's going to, and then where are you going to draw the line then? Does it stop at just Asia Cup? What do you do in the ICC tournaments? What do you do with the Olympics? Are you going to sit out of all tournaments? As an Indian fan, as a follower of Indian sport, I wouldn't like to see that Pakistan enjoys the fruits of playing internationally and all Indian players need to sit out.
Okay. Good point. I want to bring in General Raj Shukla. I believe we've lost that link with Kirti Azad. General Shukla, you want to weigh in on this? Is Pakistan now throwing tantrums, saying either you remove the match referee or we don't play? They've lost the match. They've lost face. And they're saying India did not shake hands with us. We will not play because the match referee told them not to play. What do you make of the games that Pakistan is playing?
My first observation, Gaurav, is that they have been decimated both on the battlefield and the cricket field. वो तो हर मैदान में मात खा रहे हैं. But the larger issue is this, and I was thinking when your guest relations executive invited me on the show, as a former soldier at a personal level, I would have liked to stay away. Let me say that up front. Because after all, Pahalgam was gruesome, it was tragic, ghastly, we know all of that. But let me say this, we responded to Pahalgam in such a military fashion that Pakistan was decimated. Yes. Now, what if our response was not effective and we had not played cricket? Here, the military decimation was complete and we chose to play. But what I would like to focus on a soldier is a different issue. It is not these things about cricket. But with Pakistan, because he's been so badly decimated, he's more dangerous. So what is the future? Combat, overmatch. See, the broad point I make it also comes in the Sino-Indian context. I say increase the flights with Beijing, increase the flights with Shanghai, but also increase your defense budget. I mean, these are the issues we have to say. How long can we sulk after Galwan? So I think, the broader relationship has to be seen. I'm not privy to what, issues decided India playing Pakistan. It was not the bcci alone. It was not profits. It was the government. So were there some issues of statecraft? I'm not too sure. And the last point I'd like to make is this. See, we in the military are wired differently. We make a point, we advise, but our whole military ethos is deep enough to take decisions which we agree with and decisions we don't agree with. So decisions we don't agree with, we salute and obey. So in that sense, I mean, that's my overall response. Personally, I would have preferred that we don't play, but sometimes I'm not privy to the reasons. There may be larger issues of statecraft. So, I mean, that is my response to, whether we should have played or not.
Okay, and you make a fair point. Okay, Sushant Sareen wants to comment. Before I bring you in Sushant Sareen, permit me to bring in Madan Lal into this conversation. Madan ji, when you look at the ground realities, as the general very rightly pointed out, India decimated Pakistan in Operation Sindoor, and Team India decimated Team Pakistan in Dubai. What do you make of Pakistan sulking right now, saying either you remove the match referee or we will not play, and accusing Indians of not playing the gentleman's game in its current form, in its correct perspective?
No, first of all, Pakistan has to be gentleman. I know they are not a gentleman. Let's not use the word for them. Other thing is Surya Kumar Yadav, whatever he said, I stand by it because the BCCI must have told him or team management must have decided that's what we're going to do, whether we win or lose. That's what we're going to do. But definitely, I appreciate Surya Kumar Yadav because he dedicated this victory to the Pahalgam victims, and we stand by that, and I'm very proud that they have beaten Pakistan in the first game.
So, Sushant Sareen, good enough response by India. Very proud that, as General Shukla put it, India defeated Pakistan during Operation Sindoor, and Team India defeated Pakistan in Dubai and did not shake hands with them. India has also said next match, we will not shake hands with them. If we win, this is of course coming through sources, will not take a trophy from Mohsin Naqvi.
Yeah, Gaurav, I see this as virtue signaling from the Indian side. Not that I blame the cricketers for it. I blame the board and the government for what decisions have been taken. General Shukla likes to believe that there was some higher statecraft involved. But frankly, I have yet to hear a single compelling argument to justify playing with Pakistan at this point in time. At a time when India is openly accusing this country of being a terrorist state, we have severed all other connections. why are we playing cricket? I agree with Nikhil. We should not walk out of multilateral tournaments if Pakistan is part of it. But what we can do at the very minimum is that if at all there is an occasion where an India-Pakistan match is fixed, we will boycott that match, even if we have to dock our points. I don't have a problem with that. And it is not
But
only...
then Pakistan then graduates to the next level and we'll lose out.
One second. Now, if you want to think strategically, I'll tell you. It's not only people like General Shukla and people from his biradari who are to lay their lives down and give sacrifices for this country. I think if the cricketers and the cricket board and the government of India was also to make some sacrifices by saying that we will not play this terrorist sponsoring country, heavens will not fall. To say that what will happen, we might not win a World Cup, we might not win a World Cup ever again, right? From 83 to 2011, we never won a World Cup. Did heavens fall? So if we don't win a World Cup, nothing will happen. Number two, the thing is that how do you make an example and how do you convince the rest of the world that you have a sense of outrage and that you feel that by playing these people, you are going to be sending a wrong message? You say, I will not play with them. I don't care what happens to the revenue stream and I don't care what happens to my points, but I will not play them. What is the message that will... Don't tie these guys together. Don't make them play. Unlike this Asia Cup, which is only being played so that India and Pakistan can play 3 matches together, enough money can be made so that other boards can be given money. Is it India's responsibility to make sure that other boards get money over and above what our national interest demands? I don't think so. So I have not heard a single compelling argument to justify playing against Pakistan at this point in time.
Before I bring in Neeru Bhatia, let me get Madan Lal to respond to this very pertinent point you make. Sir, अगर एशिया कप इस साल कैंसिल भी हो जाता, क्या नुकसान हो जाता उससे? एटलीस्ट मैसेज तो जाता कि टेरर एंड स्पोर्ट्स कैन नॉट हैपन टुगेदर. अगले साल खेल लेते.
मैं आई एग्री गौरव विद यू, अगले साल खेल लेते, बट ऐसा होता नहीं है बिकॉज ना वी आर द होस्ट. वी हैव टू डिसाइड वेदर वी वांट टू कैंसिल इट और वी वांट टू गो अहेड विद इट. So then that's BCCI decision and the government decision. Definitely, if the government can take a strong decision, nothing going to happen, you know. But the only thing is that you cannot boycott the Pakistan as a cricket team because you are a ACC member. There's a few members, and they are part of it. They can say, okay, don't play. पाकिस्तान के साथ मत खेलो. ओके ठीक है, इंडिया ना खेले तो कोई बात नहीं, हम बाकी दूसरों से खेलेंगे. तो ये बात तो नहीं हो सकती ना. क्रिकेट हैज टू गो ऑन, बट नॉट एट द एक्सपेंस ऑफ टेररिज्म. दैट्स व्हाट आई एग्री with them.
Okay, Neeru Bhatia, let me bring you into this conversation. If tensions are so high, don't play, or play but not shake hands with Pakistan, just as we've done this time. Where do you stand on this?
It's a very tough call to make. Don't play would have been the easier way out. But I feel that even if, and we are playing because obviously the government wants the team to play and the board wants the team to play. So we can't blame the players or the team. So if we are playing, then don't shake hands is absolutely fine by me. We don't have to show niceties or do any jhappies and puppies on the field. Just do your job, win the game, beat them, and come back to your dressing room.
So according to you, what we are doing is right. Nikhil, what's the buzz in the BCCI about, for example, that empty stadium or that nationwide call, boycott Pakistan, and the tantrums that we see from the Pakistani side right now? Is Pakistan rattled, or Pakistan is evil? It does not get rattled. It will try and make money out of this. Like out of this ACC match, out of this Asia Cup match, Pakistan is making money.
That's right. But, just to answer that money bogey, Gaurav, the money, like oftentimes BCCI has blamed that, you're playing for the money. BCCI hardly makes any money out of this Asia Cup. In that sense, if BCCI was to organize a tri-series or a bilateral series with another country, they'd probably make the same amount of money as well. Now, let's address it from the government's point of view. The money bogey doesn't hold true for them as well. None of the money that is made here, goes to the coffers of the government as well. So just looking at the money funny thing. I think the decision was taken, with a long-term view in mind, just as diplomatic things work. There's never any black or white. There are lots of gray areas as well. Listen, your relationship with Pakistan was very different a short while ago. They're very different right now because the geopolitical situation changes. And I think that is the long-term view that the government as well as the BCCI may have taken, that when is it that you stop? Okay, you pull out a one Asia Cup match, then what do you do when the very next competition comes about? Let's say Neeraj Chopra in the javelin of the World Championship 2 weeks later. What happens 3 weeks later when there's an ICC tournament? I think that actually leaves you red-faced. You say now, I'm not playing this game. 2 weeks later, you're playing another game. So people might ask, what happened to your boycott? Yes. So then are you prepared to have a long-term boycott that, okay, next 5-6 years, we don't have any sporting ambitions. We're not going to participate in any tournament, whether at the Olympic level, because what if we come across a Pakistani wrestlers in the Olympic bout or whatever? You need to look at it in a long-term thing, and I think that is what they've looked at. As for this particular tournament is concerned, I think there was a message that the team has really sent out, and that is something that I've been saying it for a long time, that playing Pakistan on the cricket field is no aman ki asha. You're not extending a hand of friendship. It's no way an admission that, listen, everything is fine. You go out there as representatives of your country, you give your best, you do your performance, and post that you say, no, we don't want to shake hands because everything is not fine. We're professional cricketers. It's a big tournament,
has his hand
and we're
up,
playing
so
that.
does Neeru Bhatia. I want to bring in Madan Lal and Janil Shukla also. Sushant, go first.
Yeah, no, I think Nikhil is confusing a couple of issues. When he talks about Olympic Games, so for example, if it's the javelin final, there are about 7 or 8 javelin throwers. It's not just the two guys fighting with each other, right? Or contending with each other. There are 7 or 8. It's a luck of the draw. It happens. It's not that you're doing directly with this guy. Yes, maybe in a wrestling match, you can say that, look, if I am pitted against a Pakistani wrestler, I'm not going to play against him, no matter what happens. As a country, we need to be able to take those decisions. Now, on the cricket field, in fact, my position is that you hold, for example, let us hold an ICC tournament. Let's say we are holding a World Cup in India. And it just so happens that you reach a particular stage, maybe a Super 6 or whatever you want to call it, where you have a match against Pakistan, but not because the draw was deliberately done that, you have a first match with Pakistan. But it happens in the course of the thing. I think India should be in a position to say, okay, fine, I'm sorry, I'm not going to play against them. If it means I'm doxing points, I'll dox points. But you can also lift your game to a point where it's not necessary that even if you've lost those 2 points against Pakistan, you don't make it to the next stage. That's quite possible, isn't it? So I think we are trying to confuse a lot of issues. We have to take a policy decision on how we deal with a terrorist sponsoring country, which is wantonly coming into India and killing our citizens, and with which we have extremely, extremely bad relations. If, of course, 2 years from now, relations improve, the Pakistanis back off, they clean up the terror swarms in their country, impossible. As long as Pakistan is alive, that's not going to happen. But let us imagine for a moment that happens. Then yes, why not? We will play with them. Why not? I don't have any problems on that count.
As they say, pigs might fly and they may fly earlier. Then Pakistan sorting itself out. Clearly, that state sponsor of radical Islamist terror is not improving. We've seen that from 1947.
Just 10 seconds. I wasn't really confusing the issues. We've had a real life situation where Neeraj Chopra had to cancel an event because Arshad Nadeem was participating. There were 10 other javelin throwers, but that event was cancelled. So it's, then the question is, where do you draw the line? You skip a Super 6 game. What if it's a semi-final? You can't really have a, different strategy for different parts of the tournament. Either you play or you don't play them. And that's what I think the decision makers have to keep all that in mind when they come up with a policy as the government has come out with.
Okay, and that policy, Madanji, is play, defeat Pakistan, don't shake hands. Now, India, I think, is taking it to the next level. Madanji, now that they're saying that if Mohsen Naqvi is to give away the prize, India will not take it from him or not share the dice with him. That sends across a more powerful message?
Yeah, definitely. It sends a more powerful message because if you're not taking the trophy from the Mohsen Naqvi, then I think for Pakistan is humiliating. But ये है कि actually Pakistan not going to solve the problem. The only thing that solve the problem how you do deal with the Pakistani. They're not going to improve. Look at the 75 years. They're not improved.
Yes.
They don't improve at all. And the only thing they have a cricket. That's all. They only think about the cricket. If they beat us, then they'll be very, very happy that look, we have beaten Pakistan. That's the
No,
only thing
General
we are.
Shukla, sir, that's such an important point you make. And Madanji, stay with me. That's a very important point you're making. General Shukla, if cricket is the only thing that makes Pakistan tick, that is where we should decimate them completely, ensure they're not, we shouldn't our effort. In case we are these superstars as we claim to be in ICC and we have the money, we should have Pakistan isolated. Let there be no Pakistan. Let them roast in their own hell. Either you play cricket or you stop terror.
See, what are the linkages of sports with broader issues of national security? That's the real question. So let's go to the Indo-China. See, there was a time when there were distinct periods of war and peace. They were very clear. Today, in this age of, gray zone kind of existence, what China did was blatant military aggression. What it did in Sindoor was military collusivity. Now, should we stop trading with China? When we do that, then all the other business, trade, commerce lobbies come and say, nahi saab, trade kholiye. So I'm saying that we must create deterrence with China and Pakistan, such deterrence that doesn't get breached, and divorce the other aspects of the relationship with national security. Otherwise, these things don't end. And now we are not a small player. We are the third largest economy, fourth largest, third largest economy to be. मैं कह रहा हूं, make your national security system so strong कि ये cricket, कबड्डी चलने दो, ये छोटी बातें हैं. हर रोज हम इन चीजों पे बवाल करते हैं. Our outrage towards Pakistan must get focused into meaningful development of national security capacities. आज जो है कैलकाटा में कंबाइंड कमांडर्स कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है, where we are talking of national security reform. उस पर बात क्यों नहीं हो रही? हम क्रिकेट पे इतनी बात करिए, क्रिकेट पे बात.
क्रिकेट पर भी बात जरूरी और नेशनल सिक्योरिटी पर, as you know better, on India today and especially on India first, for us all aspects are equally important because this is something that the nation.
I'm not making a point with you, a larger point.
Yeah, true. No, and that
not
point
with you,
taken
Gaurav.
entirely.
You're doing yeoman's work on national security.
Yeah, no, and that point taken entirely because the commanders' conference is also extremely important. My point about Pakistan, Neeru Bhatia, Pakistan is today telling India, oh, you didn't shake hands with us. That's not the way gentlemen behave. The same Pakistan team did not shake hands with the England team in Oval in 2006. So look at their blatant double standards. And who is Pakistan to talk about a gentleman's game when Inzamamul Haq tries to convert people to Islam during cricket, when Shahid Afridi and Imran Khan talk about jihad for Kashmir and cricket or words to that effect, and all their players, I mean, just look at how they talk. This guy Shoaib Akhtar, he talks about Ghazwa-e-Hind. And what kind of gentlemen's cricket are they playing if they're talking about Ghazwa-e-Hind and attacking Kashmir and from Attak to Cuttack?
Well, Gaurav, let's be very clear that today, whatever Pakistan has, and the Pakistan Cricket Board has stated that they've been grumpy, they've been complaining, they are going to they've sort of letters to the ICC president, to the ACC president. All that is just a smokescreen for covering up for a very poor game that the team played and lost to India, which they're finding it difficult to accept. That is one thing. Secondly, this Pakistan team is ranked number 8 in the world. We are number 1 right now in T20 cricket. I mean, who's going to listen to them? There's nobody listening to them. Having said that, I want to come back to a point with one of the gentlemen's made that boycotting Pakistan is we've been saying that for a long time. But look at the other countries. When it comes to the trade deal or when it comes to other issues, international issues, look at America, look at the European states. None of them.
No, but America and Europe will look after their national interest. We should look after our national interest.
Yeah,
we don't even seem to be
play.
looking after our national interest.
But we also have to play. I say that if we are good enough, we are number 1 ranked team and we are number 8. Just trash them and move on if we have to play. They were told to play. The team was told to play, so they played. It wasn't the team's fault. It's the government told them to go ahead and play. The BCCI told them to go ahead and play. So what does the team do? What do the players do?
Okay, Sushant Sareen, there was no alternative and there was no option. Like soldiers, as General Shukla said, once a soldier has been given an order, he fulfills that order. Team India was given that order, play. They played and they defeated to the best of their ability. That's all we can do. Defeat them in every match.
Gaurav, I said that right at the outset, that I'm not going to blame the players, because the itinerary is not decided by the players, it's decided by the board. But I have two very quick points to make. One is a question to Nikhil, which I'm a little bemused about, because is the PCC chief Mohsin Naqvi going to complain to the ACC chief Mohsin Naqvi? So the same guy is going to be writing to the same guy. How does that work? I'm just trying to figure that out. Maybe Nikhil
No,
can tell us how that's going
No,
to
no.
happen.
So it is going to be a complaint to the ICC because the match referee are ICC contracted. So they're complaining to the ICC saying that have Andy Prycott removed from that game versus UAE. Otherwise, we won't be playing that. So,
But is that the PCC saying it, or is that the ACC saying it? Because the ACC really, between the ACC and the ICC, it is not really an affiliated body of the ICC. ICC really doesn't call the shots as far as the ACC is concerned. ACC doesn't have to follow a lot of the stuff which the ICC follows. So again, there is that problem out there. Second, look, I don't disagree with what General Shukla is saying, and the larger point he makes about building up our national security sinews and to be able to deter and combat the enemies on the border. I take that point very well. My only problem is that, look, when you are combating against an enemy, then you have to, depending on who your enemy is, it has to be a multifarious kind of an attack. Now, when Madan Lal ji talks about the Pakistanis have not changed for 75 years, they will not change. The reason they have not also changed is because we have normalized normal contact with them and said, okay, we will compartmentalize the terrorism and all the other inimical actions that you do. We will put that in a separate box, and the mushairas and Mombatti marches and, movies and all that other stuff which we do with you, that will continue as business as normal. I have a problem with that now. I think the time has come where we say that it cannot be a normal relationship until and unless this scourge of terrorism which you have imposed on us has to be ended. This jihadism, this nonsense of Ghazwa-e-Hind has to end. If you are going to continue with it, sorry, we will have no truck with you. We will not give you any kind of courtesies, not extend any courtesies towards you. That's my position.
I completely
agree totally with what Mr. Sreen says. Every word of what he said. But then that's also the call of the government of India, and that is not coming up. That's my problem.
Absolutely.
No, completely
I
point
don't think the
taken, General
government will
Shukla.
absolve itself of what has happened. I don't see how the government, they are digging the hole deeper for themselves by coming out with clarifications, and the ministers and other people making statements. They're only digging the hole deeper for themselves. They should keep quiet and sit it out, because they are already getting pilloried and nobody is convinced of the logic or the reasons that they are giving. None of them hold up to any kind of scrutiny.
And General Shukla, if SAARC could have been put on hold, SAARC, which is such an important body since 2012 because of terror, since 2014, we haven't gone to Pakistan for SAARC, we haven't had SAARC ever since. How can we have ACC cricket? Clearly, cricket can't be more important than a SAARC meeting or a regional grouping meeting, sir.
So see, with Pakistan, we have done all the things Sushant is suggesting. Candlelight vigil band ho gaya, mushaire band ho gaye, people to people contact band ho gaye. Abhi cricket bacha tha. Cricket bhi nahi khelna hai to mat khelo. But in the larger sense, I'm making Pakistan is a pest. Does it deserve so much television time? There are better things to do. On a lighter note,
उनको आईसीसी से आउट करिए ना. अगर आप साउथ अफ्रीका, माय पॉइंट इज, अगर साउथ अफ्रीका को अपार्थाइड की वजह से आईसीसी से हटा सकते थे, टेररिज्म के लिए पाकिस्तान को क्यों नहीं हटा सकते हम? व्हाई कांट वी गैल्वनाइज ग्लोबल ओपिनियन टू गेट पाकिस्तान आउट? If cricket is the only thing that makes Pakistan tick, get it out. Then let them decide, do they want cricket, do they want terror, or do they want to be a part of the civilized world?
देखो छोटी सी मैं बात कर दूं. देखिए, look in our country, look at the debate around it. It is so civilized and mature. मैं अभी कोई statement देख रहा था, पता नहीं किसका था, शोएब अख्तर, I don't know who. He said that Pakistan won is a victory for Islam. मतलब ये बेवकूफी से क्या आप झेलोगे? So we are a sensible nation. We are having an intelligent debate. One point I would like to make in a light-hearted manner. I was actually a cricketing buff 10, 15 years back. Since China has started rising, I have stopped watching cricket. There are better things to do, more important things to do. So in that sense, ये पाकिस्तान के पीछे जो हम रोज पड़े रहते हैं, are there better things to do? I mean, that's the only appeal I can make. And the last point I wish to make it that see, ultimately it was not a BCCI decision. It was a government decision, a government which has been so firm on other aspects. What was it? I really don't know. There must have been something substantive कि भाई इन्होंने ऐसा decision लिया when much of the national mood was against it. Now that mystifies me. I don't know. I have no insider dope. I don't know.
Okay, and we are seeking answers. Okay, Neeru Bhatia, last 30 seconds that I have on this part of the show. Go on, ma'am. Last word to you.
I was just agreeing with exactly what the general was saying. That what was the reason? It's a big mystery that the government wanted us to go ahead and play the Asia Cup. Could have been that they were thinking about the Olympics bit. They could have been they were thinking about
Nikhil,
the
you have
Games,
insight on that?
But I'm not sure whether that.
Okay.
Or maybe
Nikhil,
that
you have any
was
insight on
maybe at the
that?
back of
No,
their minds.
I do not, since I do not cover politics, Gaurav, but you know, I can only look at it at the larger picture. As I mentioned earlier as well, I don't see any immediate reason for the government to have agreed to have played this tournament, but I think they really want to put a policy in place, and that policy cannot be that flexible, that it changes with every tournament. So I think it was a clear-cut policy where they say no bilateral, because bilateral is like, you know, engaging with each other, whether it's at the, you know, trade level, or mushairas or Bollywood, or even cricket for that matter. But when it comes to multilateral tournaments, you might meet them, you know, there is an SEO meet as well. You go and attend that because Pakistan is there. You don't pull out of it. I think that's the kind of outlook that the government's had. Probably that's why they've gone ahead with this tournament.
Okay. Ideally, as of now, I'm very happy with the way things are. Operation Sindoor, I love the manner in which India was able to decimate 11 Pakistani air bases, 6 radar stations, 9 terrorist camps. I mean, General Shukla, Sushant and I, we've talked about this so many times. Hitting Muridke and Bahawalpur is something that they've wargamed. I have only dreamt of such stuff happening, and it's happened in our lifetime, and the indication are perhaps more of that will happen in times to come. And the fact that Pakistan lost 6 fighter jets, 2 AWACS and early warning systems, and a C-130 aircraft and a large number of drones, and Pakistan remains nervous. So decimating them there and decimating them on the cricket field, equally good measures. If Pakistan is panicking, if Pakistan is in trouble, it's always good news, because a jelly state Pakistan, a Pakistan that's not strong, is always good news for India, because then they don't have an opportunity to bleed you. If they are strong, they will continue to bleed you. We'll have a debate on that perhaps another time, but General Shukla, Sushant Sari, Neeru Bhatia and Nikhil, many thanks for joining me.